When I woke up this morning, I didn't realize how cold it was outside. Everything was frozen. Took me a while to leave this morning, but winter is here, so I think it's going to stay cold now. How is everyone doing? Is everyone feeling okay? Are these messages helping you? Can you tell me in the comment category what you are receiving from these messages and how it's helping your life? Because it's so important to take care of your physical and mental health, as I always say. Today, we're going to turn this topic around just a little bit. And the topic of discussion is heal and manifest what you want. Because as you heal, little by little, no matter how slow the progress may be, as you start to heal, you start to feel better. And as you start to feel better, the cloud um, lift, that cloudy feeling, that feeling of, you know, uncertainty, etc. All that starts to slowly dissipate as you start to feel better. So take it one day at a time, as I always talk about here on this channel. Also, before we get started, I want to let my newcomers know that I am not a social worker. I do not have a degree or certification in therapist and being a therapist or a social worker of any kind. What I do here on this channel, I talk to you guys authentically about the experiences of loss that I had during the shutdown and how it has affected my life tremendously to the point where I didn't think I could make a comeback. And I talk about ways that I did make a comeback and how I am growing and expanding as I heal. And I talk about healing because it's so important to heal, to just face these demons, as I call them. Because when you're hurt and feel broken down and you feel like you're in a lot of despair, it's hard to pick yourself back up again. It's like Humpty Dumpty falling off the wall into a million pieces. And then you got to put all those pieces back together. And you may not know how, when, where, to start. So excuse me, everyone. So it's important to take one piece at a time, one day at a time, one step at a time. You have to crawl before you walk. It's just like a young child learning to walk. They don't get up and walk. Look at me. It's one day at a time, one step at a time. And that's how you have to take this grief and despair and everything, because your entire body, your spirit, your mind, everything goes through like a metamorphism when you lose someone that you love, um, and they're no longer here, and you don't have that connection with them anymore, not in the physical. So let's jump in today. We're going to talk about, what I've learned. I always on this channel talk about my experiences because I don't want to tell someone to do A, B, C, and D. I talk about what I've done and how I have grown from it or healed certain situations in my life. So, through the process of it all, I have learned healing, and from healing, how to love on myself, self love. Because when you start to put yourself back together, your life, the pieces of your life and everything in it, slowly but surely, you start to love on yourself and you start to look in the mirror and you know that you are worth it. It doesn't matter what everyone around you is doing. Don't pay attention to the noise around you. Acknowledge it, but don't focus in on it. Focus on your healing. Focus on you, because your healing means everything, physical and mental health. And that's important to take care of that no matter what's going on around you. And I've learned how to tune out the noise. It wasn't easy because everything around me felt broken pieces like Humpty Dumpty. And it took, 3 years or so for me to start to really feel better, knowing, as my therapists tell me when we talk, have our sessions, that my mother and my friend who I lost. And, nobody wants to see me stay in a place of brokenness. Of course, the haters, but who cares about that? Stay focused, you know, and that my mother would never want me to be in a place of despair continuously throughout my life. Of course, that I'm going to go through pain, etc., but to pick myself up at some point and continue to move forward with my life. And it's not easy. If I sat here and told everybody, oh, it's easy, it's not. But the key factor is perseverance. Persevere through the pain. Don't allow it to overwhelm or overtake you. Persevere through it. And it doesn't matter. You're going to have all types of stuff around you. What I had to learn is to tune out the toxicity. In my case, I just get rid of it. Block, cut off, delete. And in the beginning, it was hard. I would cry my eyes out. But after a while, when I started to learn the things that were being done and that these people were not genuine people in my life who genuinely cared about me, it became easier to block, cut off, and delete, with no chance of any reconciling, because once I learned what it is, then there's no moving forward with this because my physical and mental health takes priority over anything else. And that's how, we have to look at this. You matter. Look in the mirror every morning you get up, tell yourself you matter, and tell yourself that your Passover loved ones do not want you to stay in a place of brokenness or pain or despair. And you start with that. And I want to talk a little bit about relationships because when I'm talking from experience, being in a place of despair, hurting, and grieving, when you're in grief, sometimes you're not paying attention to what's going on around you, like I wasn't, and having people in my life. But what I've learned through the healing process and through the pain and everything that I have to talk about in therapy, and just music also is therapeutic, writing as I do, and things of that nature, and just connecting with bereavement groups, what I've learned is that when it comes to just any kind of relationship, whether it's a romantic one or just friendship or whatever it is, a relationship is supposed to enhance your life, not destroy it. Not destroy your life. It's supposed to enhance it. And if it's not doing that, then I have to look at it as being toxic. And then, how much of this toxicity am I going to allow? And how toxic is it, etc. And these are the things I had to evaluate as I start to pick myself up again and put together the broken pieces like Humpty Dumpty. And it wasn't easy to do this. I had to, bite through, crawl through the pain and everything and continue to address it, not ignore it and pretend everything is okay. Because as I said in prior videos, as I grew up, as from a child, uh, I was always told what goes on in this house stays in this house, but no one is addressing pain. And if you're not addressing it, there's no outlet for it. If there's no outlet for it, how are you going to heal? There's no healing taking place. So it stays and lies stagnated within you because there's no outlet. And so therapy is a form of outlet. Even attending bereavement groups is an outlet, crying, talking about it, addressing it. All of those things are an outlet for the pain to be released and so that you can grow, feel better. It may not sound like it because it may take time, but everybody heal at different times of their life. Like if you fall down and cut your knee, and somebody else fall and cut their knee, your knee, your cut may heal quicker than somebody else's. Doesn't make you better or anything. It's just the healing process is different for each individual. And that's what we have to keep in mind. And don't beat yourself up about it. As you make progress slowly, reward yourself. Pat yourself on the back, look in the mirror and tell yourself you're worth it. As you start to feel better and get better, you're going to start to practice self-love. As you practice self-love and start loving on yourself, not to be in love with yourself, but to love yourself and know that you're worth it and you deserve better, then you start to feel better, and as you feel better, you do better. And that's the purpose here. And it's this is why it's so important to heal the broken areas in your life, to address it, and not have not discard it and pretend that it's something else. To do the work, and the work isn't easy, but it's necessary, because as you do that and build yourself up, you're going to feel a whole lot better. I promise you, I've been there. Broken areas of my life, I've been there. And then as I start to feel better, I start to self love. And one of the things about self love is that when you know you're worth it and you know your worth, you're not going to just settle for any old thing just because. And when people talk about being lonely and you don't have anyone in your life, but, for me, it's not just to settle with anything, and anything that's worth it takes time. Nothing ventures, nothing gained. So it takes time, and especially after taking the time not just to heal, but to remove all toxic situations from my life as much as possible. Anyway, um, you know, removing toxicity is a huge factor in all of this, because when you learn past lessons from dealing with toxic situations that have disrupted your life and made you feel broken and in despair, besides the pain of the grief due to the loss, you learn that life is short, too short for all this toxic stuff and situation. So you want to do better, and heal yourself. And once you heal, you're not going to want to repeat a cycle. I know I do. I don't. So once I heal from it, the lesson is learned. And once the lesson is learned, the door is shut and padlocked. There's no reconciling it because the lesson has been learned. It's time to move on. You move on and embrace the new, and you embrace what you deserve. That's so important, people, to embrace what you deserve and to know that you deserve the best, and that your Passover loved ones don't ever want you to stay in a place of feeling pain. And yes, we have those trigger moments. I don't know, with those who listen to this channel, how new your grief is, but for those, in any event, whether the grief is new or older, you still from time to time going to have those trigger moments. I know I do, but I deal with them differently than when it first took place, when the losses first took place. It's so important, people, when you feel better and when you recognize the triggers, you do better. And one of the things that I would like for you guys to do, because this is what I did, and I want to share this with you. When I first started having those trigger moments of all these different emotions, which make you feel bipolar and you're losing your mind kind of emotions due to all the loss. Because, like I said, I lost 10 people during the shutdown. And then the trigger moments started to happen shortly thereafter. So, what I started to do is Google. We had so much time on our hands, right? The only thing we could do in the beginning is go to the supermarket and come back home. So I Googled everything and learned about trigger moments, of grief due to loss. And once I educated myself about it, and then I learned how I can handle them, then I started to talk to my therapist about it. And we talked about certain ways for me to make a list to know how to deal with those trigger moments when they come. In the beginning, it was hard, but then it started to get easier, little by little with time. Everything happens with time, people. So look up trigger moments, due to grief, and research all you can and learn what you can about that, so that you know why you're going through this. You're not crazy. There's nothing wrong with you. The body has taken a hit due to a huge loss, especially if that Passover loved one was everything in your life and now they're not there. That's huge, people. That's huge, and it takes time for the body and mind, mental state of mind, everything to come together again. So learn all you can about these trigger moments if you're having them, these ups and downs, feelings of one moment you're okay, the next moment you're not, and learn about these things. And it will help you to be able to control it in the near future as you start to heal and get better. That's the message today. Never settle. Never allow anyone to tell you when you should be getting better and when you should be getting over the loss of a loved one. Never allow that, because everyone heal at a different point in their life. Time heals everything, you know? So that is the message today. Please share this video with others. They need to hear this, because like I said yesterday, and as I always say on this channel, there are people who are not openly talking about their grief. They may be in a corner somewhere in a fetal position, you know, dealing with pain and depression, and they don't know how to handle what they're dealing with. Share these messages with them so that we can talk about it here. Because I have learned through all the pain that I've gone through, not just with the grief, but past situations, childhood pain, a lot of stuff that I don't even talk about here. As I learn to address those things in therapy, it heals the inner childhood wounds. And then I start to feel better and grow. And I learned to turn that pain into a purpose, turn that purpose into power, and turn the power into paying it forward to help other people. And as this message reach others, and they hear the message and they share, it's helping other people, because someone somewhere could be so much in pain that they're thinking about suicide, and we never want that. So let's continue to subscribing to the channel, sharing, hitting that like button, and commenting here. It's so important, and just because you cry and you feel pain and you talk about what you're feeling, it doesn't make you weak. It actually means that you're strong, and it makes you stronger as you talk about it and as you do the work slowly but surely. Always remember that. Never let anyone tell you anything different. What's toxic is to stay in a place of stagnation and just let yourself fall apart without doing the necessary work to heal yourself. It takes a lot to do that. Thank you all for being here today. This is Lisa, always encouraging you to upbuild yourself, shedding love and light always. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Enjoy your day. Bye for now.